Canning food dates all the way back to the French Revolutionary War. It was conceptualized by Nicholas Appert in order to feed the French army. In 1858, John Mason invented the mason jars that we know and love today. Their screw-top lids made it much easier for families to can at home. By the early 1900s, canning was taking root as a household tradition for many American families, especially the rural ones. During the era of the Great Depression and World Wars, women began to grow gardens and preserve food due to the men being at war. The government began to call these ladies victory canners, encouraging them and calling them patriotic, doing their American duty. In rural America, ladies began forming co-ops and clubs to can their crops together. During the 1950s, frozen foods rose in popularity, making canning food take a back seat to this convenience. Today, canning food is growing in popularity partially because people want to uphold their grandparents' traditions. Canning food is economical because it extends the shelf life of perishable foods that might be thrown away otherwise. It's necessary to follow canning guidelines set forth by the USDA. Botulism is the biggest canning concern, with most foodborne cases being linked back to home canned foods. In this picture, the can on the right is contaminated with botulism. It's important to test for a proper seal after completing the canning process. Any cans which have not sealed and suctioned properly are likely contaminated and need to be thrown away. Fruits, jams, and pickled foods have a higher acidity and can resist bacteria much more easily. For this reason, the rules for canning high-acid foods are more lenient. For instance, they can safely be processed in an open kettle hot water bath because they don't need to get so hot. Foods with lower acid levels, such as meat and most vegetables, are highly susceptible to contamination and must be carefully processed in a pressure canner in order to reach temperatures high enough to kill harmful bacteria. To make strawberry rhubarb jam, as we will be taught in this video, the following tools are necessary: 2 large canning kettles, mason jars of any size with tightly fitting lids. The screw tops can be reused, but the metal parts need to be new. Tongs are helpful because you can remove the empty jars from a pot after sterilizing without burning yourself. Wide mouth funnels make the jar filling process much easier and less messy. Jar lifters and heat-resistant gloves keep you from being burned as you stir the jelly and lift the finished jars of jam from their water bath. Eyewear is also recommended to protect from hot water splashes, or on the off chance that a jar explodes during processing. Start by putting 4½ cups of rhubarb, sliced into half-inch thick pieces, into a large kettle. Then pour 6 cups of white sugar on top of it. Let this sit for 2 hours. After letting the rhubarb and the sugar sit for 2 hours, Next add 4½ cups of fresh strawberry. Then add a cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Then stir the ingredients gently to be sure that they're fully mixed. Bring the jam contents to a rolling boil and keep them there for 25 minutes. Stir very frequently so that they don't scorch the bottom of the pot. Once your jam is finished boiling, set it to the side. Place all of your jars and lids in a large kettle, cover with water, and bring that water to a boil on the stove. This will be sure to sanitize the jars that you put your jam in. When it's boiled for 5 minutes, turn the water off, take the jars and lids out, drain them with tongs, and place them on a towel to dry. After your jars are sufficiently sterilized, it's time to put the jam in the can. Take your funnel, place it in the top of your can, take a ladle, and scoop your jam into your jar. Keep filling it up until you have a quarter-inch of space at the top of the jar. Once you have your jar full to the brim, where you only have a quarter-inch of space left at the top, take a washcloth, clean of course, and wipe the outer rim of the jar to get any jelly off of the lid. Then place the top on, like this, and screw the cap on tightly, but not too tightly. Just want it to be fingertip tight, where you tighten it with the fingertips and take it and wrench it like this. After you have your lids put on your cans, it's time to put them in the water. These are canning tongs, and they will save you from getting burned as you do this step. What we do first is we grab the cans by the coated ends, place them in the water. We want them to be covered by the water completely, and we want 2 inches in between each can. Once you have all of your cans in your kettle, make sure that there are 2 inches between the cans and at least 1 inch of water on top of the can. Then cover the kettle and let it boil for at least 10 minutes.